Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, all of you at home. Morning is broken, and we are your consecrated hosts. Father Jeff, consecrated by holy orders.
Jonathan, consecrated by baptism.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Salutations. What a short week this has been.
It is, but I am so excited, Father Jeff.
Because tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
Well, yes, but for this episode, this is our New Year's Eve episode, Father Jeff.
Our New Year's Eve episode.
New Year's Eve episode.
I don't understand.
Next time you see us, it's going to be a brand new year.
Oh, no, you're going to confuse everyone at home.
Just like I confused you.
Oh, so what you're talking about...
Liturgical New Year.
The liturgical New Year. Advent 1. This weekend will be the first Sunday of Advent, which is when everything starts over again in the church's calendar, in the church's year. So, yeah, new liturgical year. We finish things out with Christ the King, and we're just kind of rolling out the rest of this week, and then this weekend, the Advent candles will be burning.
So I am ready for New Year's.
Well, all right.
It's New Year's Eve.
Do you have a New Year's resolution, Jonathan, ready to roll? I could come up with a few for you.
I'm sure you could. I am sure you could. Nope, I dressed up, got a little bit brighter. I can't wear my my purple quite yet because it's not Advent yet.
It's not Advent yet.
Next week, though, you might see some purple.
You're such a liturgically minded guy.
I am, and that's why New Year's Eve and Thanksgiving Eve.
It is Thanksgiving Eve today. Well, it's Thanksgiving morn Eve.
Oh, yeah.
It's the morning of the eve.
I guess so. We want to get technical.
Exactly. So we're only doing these two shows this week, yesterday's and today's. We're going to take our Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow and Friday, so there won't be any morning show tomorrow and Friday. But we will be back again on Tuesday, like normal, to go deeper into Advent and the mystery of the Incarnation and whatever moves us.
Lots of things tend to move us. Especially depending on what we ate the night before.
So what are you doing for Thanksgiving this year?
Because you have to go over all the disclaimers. You know, if I say I'm getting together with anybody, people will be like, ah!
Yep, tell me.
So we kind of have a triangle. My immediate family, Genevieve's sister's family, and then Genevieve's parents. Genevieve's parents watch our kids, our family and Genevieve's sister's family, throughout the week. Okay. So they're intermingling. We are basically, living.
So this is your quarantine group, as it were, if you were to use that language,
Yep, and so all of us are getting, we go there every day because our kids end up there every day. And so all of us are getting together at our in-laws' house and Genevieve's sister's house.
Okay.
Getting some turkey, all the stuff. And
who's cooking the meal?
We're all pitching in certain different things.
Yep. You all bring something and add to the buffet or however you do it.
Yeah, I mean,
you have a great big table. Or
I was gonna wait to get to this point, but this is kind of the whole hot take.
My goodness, yes. So if you haven't been following along, Jonathan has been sitting on this Thanksgiving hot take, which if you're not sure what that is, it's a controversial opinion.
Yes.
And I, as you, are waiting to hear what this controversial opinion about things. I can't imagine how Thanksgiving. These days everything is controversial. And I was reading about the controversy of Thanksgiving the other day, and just how
it's not that controversial.
The things you believe about it may not be true historically. So we're not even going to go down that path. We're just going to enjoy Thanksgiving for what it is. But Jonathan is going to share his hot take.
Well, you're basically serving it up to me on a platter.
I can't wait, Jonathan. I can't wait. Let me settle in. Oh my goodness!
I had it because I made a social media post about this several years ago, and I didn't want to.
This is not a new take.
Oh no, this is. I firmly believe this.
Oh dear. Okay, get ready.
And it's I wanted to make sure that they got the whole thing, because if I left anything out, I didn't want it to be cheapened.
Jonathan, we are ready.
So you're talking about bringing food, all this other stuff, yada yada. It's always an ordeal, who's going to make who's going to cook and do all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be well prepared.
My hot take is that it's all overrated. Most Thanksgiving food is overrated.
Oh, for the love.
It is the most overrated food. Actually.
Oh, for the love.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
So turkey.
Turkey.
I like turkey-ish. I'm good with one slice, just a small slice though, not much, because it's not very good. The leftover turkey, leave it out because we eat turkey Thanksgiving. What other time of the year? Maybe Easter. Who buys a turkey, a whole turkey? There's maybe a small percentage of you out there. You don't buy a turkey year round, except for Thanksgiving. Stuffing.
I love stuffing.
No, it is bad. 95% of stuffing I've ever had is no good. Actually, that's very generous. Because I've had one stuffing in my life that I liked.
Oh, Jonathan.
0 that have started within the bird.
Get ready.
Cooked in the bird stuffing, 0.
Don't think you should.
1 outside the bird. And it didn't have any kind of fruit in it.
Jonathan.
Pumpkin pie?
Ugh, delicious.
Nope. No. However, it does lend way to one of the gems of Thanksgiving, which isn't necessarily a traditional Thanksgiving thing. I just had it during this time. Pecan pie. Delicious.
Pecan pie?
Pecan. Cranberries.
Oh, lovely.
Canned, fresh.
An American
all
fruit.
Gross.
Delicious.
Tart. Blah,
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Sweet potatoes.
Oh, my favorite.
If I wanted something mushy and I'd go play in the mud.
Oh, for the
It'd
love.
be just as good as sweet potatoes.
For the love.
They're nasty.
They are not nasty.
Now ham. Ham's something I can get behind, but it's not a traditional Thanksgiving thing.
Ham is not a Thanksgiving thing.
So if you're lucky enough to get yourself some ham on Thanksgiving, count your blessings, because that is something really good for you. Now, the green bean casserole. Pretty good.
Yeah.
However, when is it ever acceptable, outside of the green bean casserole, to put canned vegetables in a dish, put some condensed mushroom soup on top, and then some Frenchy onions?
That's like 1950s cuisine in a casserole
Oh my gosh.
dish.
Thinking about it, the green bean casserole, the goodness of it is proportionate to the Frenchy onions on top.
That's probably true.
The more the Frenchy onions, the better the green bean casserole. So, really, it's the Frenchy onions that are good. The green bean casserole, but actually, I like the green bean casserole, but once a year. Because, once again, you don't make it any other time of year.
It's date specific.
No. Now, the saving grace of Thanksgiving
What's
meal.
left?
Carbs. Carbs. You got your croissants. You got your rolls. We go to Texas Roadhouse.
We are so opposite.
We get the rolls from Texas Roadhouse. They'll sell them to you unbaked. You bake them at home. They give you that honey butter, cinnamon honey butter. Ooh.
It's all that bread that I don't like of Thanksgiving. We are opposite.
How do you not like bread?
Shocking.
How do you not like bread?
I'm not a dinner roll person.
I'm not talking about. I said croissants and Texas Roadhouse rolls.
Oh, whatever.
Then garlic mashed potatoes. Oh,
Well, mashed potatoes are good.
but no gravy. If they were that good to begin with, you wouldn't put gravy on it.
Well, a good mashed potato.
It's like a steak. If it's a really good steak, seasoned, would you ruin it by putting some A1 steak sauce on it? No. Would you ruin it by cooking it extra well done?
I
No.
hope all of you are hitting the little thumbs down button on this hot take today.
So unless the mashed potatoes aren't very good, keep the stuff away. And the turkey. The only reason you would put gravy on the turkey is if it was dry and flavorless.
That is true.
So, in summary, a tiny bit of turkey, a little bit of ham if you're lucky, bread, some green beans because you don't eat them any other time of year. Make sure you get plenty of those Frenchy onions though. Mashed potatoes, and finish it off with some pecan pie. All the rest of the food is food that the Pilgrims would have been ashamed to be associated with. But, let's be real. The real reason we love Thanksgiving is because there's no work. There's no school. We get to see and spend time with family. And the positive association with the family and the coming together is really what stirs up those good feelings in everybody. And so that kind of blinds us to the awfulness of the food.
It seems to me that you've just had bad food throughout your childhood.
There's people that are like, oh my goodness, you need to try my stuffing.
The Thanksgiving Day table. Jonathan, I disagree with 95% of what you said.
Well, you're wrong.
Turkey prepared well.
It can be good. I will eat it and I will enjoy it. And then I'll be done with it.
And if you make a nice gravy out of that, sausage and apple stuffing, oh, delicious.
The sausage?
That's where the
sausage
carbs
you
come
can get in.
Good bread in there.
But the apple,
mushy sweet potatoes, that's just wrong. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the marshmallow topped sweet potatoes, but that is, and cranberries. That's like an American fruit. You can find it nowhere else. It is one of our thingies.
There's a reason, chocolate.
When I was a kid, the canned cranberry was my favorite. Like when yes. I was mesmerized by the fact that it retained its shape like it did, and then you can just cut it into slices. Oh, I love it. I like tart things though. I love tart stuff, and so tart with the turkey. The saltiness of the turkey and the tartness of the...
Nope.
Well, Jonathan, hopefully you will have a good Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. Well, once again, so my brother-in-law, Nate...
So what are you making?
I'm doing the mashed potatoes.
All right.
And my wife is making my great-grandma's recipe of pecan pie. That many pecan pies are far too sweet.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about
And so my great-grandma's recipe isn't as sweet. That was the first one I ever had. And so, for me, eating other pecan pies is kind of like eating other barbecue.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, it gave me the taste of it, and I know what it's supposed to taste like. So, it's pretty good. It kind of
not quite
fills
the same thing.
But I can taste the goodness in it. There's enough resemblance of that flavor that I can appreciate it for what it is.
You know me, I'm not a nut in my dessert kind of guy. So
he doesn't even like Snickers.
No. Pecan pie is it's good, but
if we have any leftover, I will try to bring the office a slice because everyone in the office wanted to try. And that's the thing. People say, well, you got to try mine. I've tried the other stuffings. Like I said, there was one stuffing that I was just like,
you hang out in the wrong circles. This is what I'm saying, John.
Hold on. You talked about cranberries and how it's only American.
It's a great food.
Most of civilization never had chocolate. Then some
tomatoes, potatoes. All of these things came from... These are New World fruits.
Okay. So then they found them in the New World, and they were like, man, this is so good. We got to take this back.
Yes.
The cranberries, we could just leave those.
You can keep the crab. We don't know what to do with
these
them.
things have gone bad. They have soured.
They've got their own stuff over there. They've got gooseberries and lingonberries and all those other kind of berries.
Which you can also get here.
Yeah, I know, but we don't use them because they're not native.
I've had some gooseberry pie.
Those are like those great big...
I don't know what a gooseberry looks like. I've just had some gooseberry pie.
I think they look like orange tomatillos.
Oh.
I think so. I think if I'm thinking of what a gooseberry is. I could be wrong. Well, Jonathan, I completely disagree, and if I had the ability to excommunicate you, I would. Perhaps I have the ability to silence you.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things that the Thanksgiving dinners, we only do it once. I think because there are so many components to it. All of these different dishes. But one of the things that is we changed, we don't really do the green bean casserole because my mom really never liked it. We did, and we do Brussels sprouts. Love a good sauteed Brussels sprout. Like it's crispy edges. And
if you saute it,
little bacon and onion in there with it.
Hide the flavor enough.
Oh, they're so good.
No, I can eat it. You just have to have other
like cabbages, it's like little
flavors.
cabbage.
You have to have other flavors to go with Brussels sprouts.
Right.
See, I'm not that difficult.
Oh, Jonathan. If only you are around the office and we're trying to decide what kind of cake are we going to have for a birthday or what kind of we going to have for lunch.
Well, you try to keep putting citrus in my dessert.
I don't like that. Jonathan is kind of picky. But you know what? I'm thankful for you, Jonathan.
I'm thankful for you too, Father Jeff, who is also quite picky when it comes down to it.
Particular. There's a difference.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Thanksgiving is, it's one of those things that what is it really about? It's one of those things that I think gets a little lost because either we take it back to a, mythologized founding of America. Like there's this thing that happened miraculously on a certain day at a certain time and this big dinner that happened. And I think that's probably a cobbling together of a number of different historical whatevers. So I don't think it's so much as a cobbling together of the beginnings of America. Nor was it, even when Abraham Lincoln proclaimed the first Thanksgiving Day, it was kind of a political motive to reunite for reconciliation between the North and the South. That, so there was kind of some political purposing behind this thing. So even the first proclaimed Thanksgiving Day as a national holiday kind of had its own whatever. But ultimately, I think underscoring it all as Thanksgiving Day is really giving thanks, obviously. We had this great homily one time at the North American College where I was a seminarian. The apostolic nuncio, or former nuncio to the United States, Archbishop Cachavillan, he was giving the homily, and he said, the Thanksgiving a day. It is the day for the giving of a thanks.
And did he turn around and go sit down?
And no, unfortunately, he went on for another 25 minutes.
Oh, no.
But that is the only thing any of us from that era will remember about that particular homily. The Thanksgiving is the day for the giving of a thanks.
You got to be careful with your homilies, Father.
The lines that you remember.
Yeah, that throwaway line might be the one that sticks.
That's the one. But it is the day of giving thanks. And for us, particularly as people of faith, it is a day of giving thanks to God. That we realize everything we have is, it doesn't come from us. It's not from our doing or efforts. It's something that comes from God. And we have to give thanks for that.
Yeah. It goes back a little bit to what we were talking about last week with the reflecting and, oh my goodness. Examination of
gratitude.
Yes, you need to just... We are so spoiled. If you are watching this, oh my goodness. If you have the capability to be taking the time to watch a morning show or listen to a morning show at any time during the day, there are so many people in the world who either don't have the technology, don't have access to something like that, or don't have the time to spend.
Right.
Because they are working, trying to provide for their family, have the hardships.
And to boot, watch a silly little morning show like this that's complaining about food. We are overly blessed. This is the reality. Yeah.
Yeah,
this is the reality. And so we have to give thanks. We have to come. And we talked about this last week, that spirit of gratitude. That it's just, we have to come in that spirit of gratitude and give thanks to God, not only for all of the people and the experiences and the blessings, but the challenge that I always put forward to people also is to give thanks for your crosses, to give thanks for your struggles, to give thanks also for those things. I read something, and I'm forgetting now who the author of it was, but it was in one of the magazines that we just received from the North American College, and the rector had written a little note in there on his first rector's conference to the seminarians. And he quoted, trying to think of the guy's name, and I forget, it's a French guy. But he was talking about how we have to choose those things in our lives that we can, that are good, obviously. But even when misfortune falls upon us, that we will only be free when we actually choose that as well. So even though it's already happened, you know how there's that sense to kind of resent that or be bitter about that or to kind of hold some angst or just to kind of keep working against it even though it's clearly happened? His suggestion was that the soul finds freedom when it chooses even those things we would never have chosen had we the ability to choose it. But once this thing strikes me and I'm Like, okay, not only do I accept it, but I will now actively choose it as the thing that I would have chosen. I'm no longer fighting against it. I'm no longer resisting it. Now it is part of my life, and I live in a certain freedom. And there's gratitude. I think if we have gratitude, even for those things that challenge us, wow, that sets us free. I mean, it really does set us free.
Yeah, I read a quote yesterday, and I will find it and post it, the actual quote, like I do many times because I can't think of it. But it talked about how, like, and this was kind of in like wounds or other things that, like, just hardships that we don't choose to deal with, we end up passing on.
Oh.
Because, it's like, well, I'm dealing with this and it's stressing me out.
Yeah.
So that stress then is when I lash out at you because you asked me to do something else and it had nothing to do with what you did, but because it's weighing on me and I'm not dealing with it.
Look at the original sin. Adam and Eve sin that's not dealt with, healed, or reconciled, and it is passed on to generations.
Thanks for nothing, Adam and Eve.
Except that it won for us so great a Savior. That is the one line, even in the Easter hymn that we sing on the Easter Vigil night, the Exultet, there is that one line in there that, oh, happy fault, that necessary sin of Adam that won for us so beautiful a Savior. That even in the thing that destroyed everything, we can still find goodness. And that is the remarkable thing about the Christian life. That even when everything is ruined and destroyed and broken and battered and whatever you experience, there's always a nugget of goodness because God always outdoes himself.
Right.
And he outdoes anything that we do. So even if it's not so good, he takes care of that.
Right.
So there's always gratitude.
And ultimately, anything good or bad that we're faced with that surrounds us is an opportunity to grow closer to God.
Yeah.
We can take the good and say, oh, God, you provided this, that we have, equipment to do a morning show. And, we take that for granted. We showed up one day, it's here. I mean, I ordered it, but it's here. And then, the phone broke that one day. We had to get a new phone, and you can spend all day being upset about it, or just say, God,
here we go.
Is this, take time. Are you calling me to continue this? What are you trying to do? And really, God wants us to grow. God is constantly reaching out to us. And through the bad, through the good, sometimes,
I'm going to break into song here pretty soon.
Let's do it.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. Remember that show?
Time.
No.
Before my time. I knew it was a show, though.
Yep. But it is so real. That's so true. That these are the things that make us grow. These are the things, our blessings are embedded. Ever since the crucifixion, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, every blessing, every grace now comes to us wrapped in the wrapping paper of the cross. Because the cross is the source of all grace. Mm-hmm. And so whatever grace we pray for, be ready. There is going to be a cross somewhere accompanying that, because nothing is free. Everything comes with cost. Even our salvation and the good things that come from God come from the execution of Jesus on the cross.
Yeah. I think in my life, the most spiritual growth, personal growth, has all come through some kind of adversity or a struggle, even if it's an interior struggle. Mm-hmm. But the growth happens when you have to rely on God to kind of pull you up.
Yep.
When things are good and life is good, there is some growth, hopefully.
Yes,
but,
absolutely.
But the more monumental growths, the bit larger growths come when there is that struggle.
It's not that you choose bad things to happen, but once they do happen, and they're not things that you can rightly rectify. Because there are certainly bad things that you should fight against and you should resist and you should, try to change. Absolutely. But then there are certain things where it's like, okay, the dice have been rolled and these are the cards that I've been dealt, and so now I can pout about it, or I can accept it and play with what I've been given. And that really it helps us move forward in life, that I accept this thing that I would not have chosen, but now really have no choice. So I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it my choice. And all of a sudden, the evil one has lost all of his power. That he has no more power to tempt you because you have chosen this unfortunate thing. And it can't be now a source that picks at you or whittles you away. Very true. So, Jonathan, one of the best ways I think that we can celebrate Thanksgiving is to go to the table of the Lord. I think there's a real connection. It's a beautiful connection for us in America that we have this tradition of celebrating a meal with a gathered family around a common table or many tables set throughout your house or whatever. But it is so iconic of the Eucharistic table that the Lord calls us to the table of the Eucharist to gather as one big family around the table and to share this meal of gratitude and thanksgiving. And as I'm sure most of you already know, the word Eucharist itself is a Greek word that means to give thanks. It is a thanksgiving. Every time we celebrate the Eucharist, we are celebrating a Thanksgiving meal. And
that's one I can get behind.
And like the meal that you're going to have, the ingredients aren't so great. Oftentimes it's cheap wine and cheap bread that doesn't taste like a whole lot. But it's more than just those affective realities, because what happens to that bread and the wine, of course, is it becomes the body and blood of our Savior as he dies and rises from the dead. And we get to offer Jesus back to the Father so the Father can give his Son back to us. It's this relationship of gift giving and receiving and being thanks, so that gratitude. So if you've never gone to Mass on Thanksgiving Day before because, I don't know, you're busy in the kitchen or it's just not something, not Sunday, it's not a holy day, but if this is our national day of Thanksgiving, what better way is there to give thanks to God than to go offer prayer and to offer the sacrifice of his Son?
Yeah. And this is when you ask people to bring bread and wine?
Yes. So we do
Great
invite people to bring something from their Thanksgiving table, usually the bread and the wine, because that relates right to the Eucharistic table itself. So if you bring your bread and your wine as a representative of what will be at your Thanksgiving table, then in church we will bless those foods that you take back and add to your table for the blessing. And it just draws that connection and God's grace from what's happening at the altar and happening at your table. Because I suppose it could be super easy to go into Thanksgiving and not give one thought to God.
Many people do.
Exactly. Thanksgiving now has become all about family. And, we're grateful, but it's a self-centered internal gratitude as opposed to a gratitude that should go beyond us and back to the Creator.
I'm so grateful for myself.
That's the problem with today.
Does the blessing work transmitted through live stream?
Yes. So any blessing that is received through live feed, whether that's television, radio, internet, any blessing that is live and received live is received. So if it was recorded, if you're watching the Thanksgiving Day Mass back live or recorded, that blessing is already canned. It's already been sent out there and you missed it. So that blessing doesn't stand. But as a live stream, yeah. In fact, we're going to live stream the Thanksgiving Day Mass.
We are.
So Thanksgiving Day Mass tomorrow, 9 o'clock a.m. It will be live streamed, and it'll be a good way to start our day.
Yeah.
Great.
My family will be there. We'll have some bread and grape juice probably.
That'll work. You can do that. That works too. All right, Jonathan. Well, I hope you and your family have a happy and blessed
Thanksgiving.
Is it already time? Yes, it is time.
I must have ranted longer than I thought.
Oh, boy. Yes. Well, hopefully all of those carbs will calm you down, and you'll feel like it'll give you that little brain fog, and you will be just remembering Thanksgiving so delightfully when it's all over.
Oh, then there's football.
And we'll come back on Tuesday.
A new year.
And delight in the new year. And you'll share with us your New Year's resolution.
It's a new dawn.
And if you don't,
day.
I'm going to break into song again.
And I feel good.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. God
Happy
bless.
Thanksgiving.